we coming from the true space. We ain't entertaining neighbors, I don't give a fuck what you say. Found the universal coochie, planting seeds and birds fruit. Now I'm really looking juicy. Welcome to the true space. Yeah, bitch, welcome to the true space. Welcome to the true space. Yeah, bitch, welcome to the true space.
What's good, everybody? My name is Open Book. This is
Hey
my
guys,
partner.
this is Harith. Welcome back to Truspace.
Yep, and this is your weekly horoscope. So let's get into the energy. So on Monday, August 8th, the sun in Leo is going to make a trine with Chiron and Aries. How do you think this is energy?
Man, so Leo season is all about self-expression, all about being fixated, rooted, determined, even stubborn about this vision, imagination that we gave birth to with the first element of fire, Aries, the first house, card of fire. So in Leo season right now, we're fixating on that. We're adding more fire to the first fire we gave birth to in Aries. But that trine with Chiron and Aries is providing opportunity for you to present what you've been entertaining, having fun with, what you want to express, to create mistakes so you could learn. It's almost like going to the stage so you could make mistakes, which is very important because all the planets are retrograding. Uranus gonna start retrograding soon, so don't expect a lot of moving forward with anything essentially. But what you want to move forward with is practicing self-expression or using all that sun energy. That's all that matters right now, and later on when things go direct, that's when you're gonna reap the rewards and things of that nature. So expect a lot of opportunity to make mistakes, but learn how to become your original self through practicing what's on your heart essentially. Yeah.
It lets you know who you are. It shows you your boundaries and the things that you actually want to spark and sustain. You know, maybe other people are trying to their creations you're trying to spark, and through you're exactly right, through going through those mistakes, through trying to express yourself, and how the results of that, it really cues you in on your starting point with Chiron and Aries on where you had gotten wrong in the first place, you know, and helping you. And even when you go and get a lot of that under your belt through expressing yourself, through going through the motions, through going through those mistakes, through going through those being tested on your individuality, you become so much more braver and more, you know, ruthless in your self-expression, because it's like, I already done this, I already expressed it, and people already opposed me or already made the mistakes, you know, and then I went back to and went and refined it. It's like you kind of know, like, they can't hurt your individuality like that. Like, your individuality, your potential never gets diminished. And the more you show the light, and then you think, oh, they're gonna snuff out the light, but you know, after you do that, now you know, it's like, oh shit, you know, I got the lighter, you know. It's like, this shit will never
This
go out.
transit will remind you.
If
This
you know the
transit will
starting point.
remind you of why do you see the sun always doing the same thing over and over. Because no matter what's gonna happen, the sun's continue rising up no matter what. Whether it's gonna rain, whether it's gonna be clouds, and things of that nature. So that's what Leo season is about, or why it's ruled by the sun. It's always gonna express itself. It's always gonna be seen.
Facts. That's why I place my bets on the sun and not on Bill Gates and his dust in the air, putting ass, doing all that stupid shit. This nigga's battling the sun, coming up with the sun. I think the sun is always, it's getting scary. The sun's shining. I think the sun's gonna do what it wants anyway. You know, it's like how's a nigga gonna think he's gonna go and battle the motherfucking sun? You ain't as consistent as the sun. I don't give a fuck how consistent you think you are. You ain't as consistent as the sun.
Whoa.
I don't know how you're gonna compete. How can a nigga look at that and be like, I'm gonna beat that nigga?
And like express pure love for everybody. And like that's what the sun does, warming everybody with no selection, not picking this guy over this guy or doing this behind this. It's just all like illuminate everything.
Facts. But when you get lost in the Aquarius energy, you try and be more logical, and maybe we could rebel and oppose and do this better. But then Saturn, that's funny. I was talking about Aquarius like that. Saturn in Aquarius is making a square to Mars and Taurus. How do you
Man,
think this
that's
is
just
gonna work
more
out?
setbacks on like what you're planning to take action, being passionate about. Especially with the conjunction about Uranus and Mars, really making you realize of how much energy that you need to put in to actually build this physical world that you want to be part of or uphold these tradition, these values that you want. And like I feel like the Saturn Aquarius retrograde is gonna make you realize of how back the society is pushed back by laws. Monkeypox is coming back. Certain laws gonna be more programmed in. People might be they might slow down businesses and things of that nature. So you're gonna feel like pushed back by the government, by laws and things of that nature. Just probably learn how to maneuver through it essentially. But it's gonna be very hard either way because you're dealing with fixed signs.
Exactly. So the way that it may come about is a situation that's sustained, or something that drags on for a while because it's fixed, um, or ties into a pre-existing thing that has existed for a while and adds fire to the flame in a type of way. But yeah, for sure, this is how being logical and who being how you build stability in this world really prevents you from Mars having the like Mars and Taurus. Taurus has like a couple. It's not like you can't be social and there's other alignments, but Taurus feels most secure with niggas that they know and trust. That can provide certain things. They're not just gonna go and put their trust into associates and outside. So as you're learning Mars, you're exerting your energy and your passions and your desires. You're dealing a lot with directing this towards an area of trust because you're trying to gain stability. So when Saturn in Aquarius is here demanding you to incorporate more people, more social, to think of all of these other options that's going on, it kind of takes away from you understanding the relationship in itself, understanding value in itself. They're here telling you to associate and create a network based off of a product. You don't even know the fucking product. So like Mars and Taurus is having you direct your passions and desires towards the product. But Saturn's like, we're at production. We're at production. Like stuff like that. And just like what you were saying with the societal pressures, it's like that. It's like you're passionate about creating stability, and you want to start incorporating more things, gain more resources and all of this, get business going, get all of these things going, and all of a sudden there's more restrictions, and all of a sudden they're coming out and slowing shit down, making it even harder for you to progress. And Mars is already in its detriment. You may fucking give up. You be like, fuck this shit. It's so hard, or get frustrated and get aggravated, and lose that calm, cool, and collected. Towards needs you to be consistent, and when you're frustrated you make rash decisions. So that's what Saturn and Aquarius can bring you out. So really try and be calm, cool, and collected. Even though no. And it's crazy because we were just fucking talking about this, the numerology of Aquarius breaking down to number 2, because it really is the foundation. Your first relationship, type of experience kind of comes into Taurus. How you develop trust in people, how in your own individual self-worth and how you understand value. Then you start to interact with other people's value. Without Taurus, under self-value, you won't be able to give love with Leo. You won't be able to understand shared resources and love, like how other people have self-value, and then you won't understand lovability with Aquarius. So it creates all of these conflicts. But it's all on the same spectrum, if you get what I mean. Understand that its base components before you get lost in all the responsibilities is bringing on.
Expect a lot of physical stress, especially with the sun being in Leo, Saturn being in a fixed sign, and then Uranus being in a fixed sign. So a lot of physical strain essentially on your
Sure.
body. Yeah.
I see that for sure. And then Talking about strain, Venus and Cancer opposes Pluto and Capricorn this Monday. How you think
Man, this
that's
Pluto
gonna
wants
hit?
to see if Venus, your love matter, being so nurturing, being so focused on getting comfortable. I mean, getting addicted to just seeking comfort and hiding away from what it needy real, what it needs to put its energy to: business, structure, associating, building the world. And Pluto and Capricorn is make sure Venus uphold these virtues and principle, making sure that it does not get too lost, because it's gonna go eventually to what Leo and present these things on the stage, and it's gonna in conjunct Pluto and Capricorn, and we want to make sure our Venus energy is consistent with what Pluto and Capricorn wants in the long term.
For sure, for sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Even like the long term versus the right now. What you care about right now, but then how you're going to deal with transformation in order to protect yourself in the long term. It's interesting. Maybe this is like Venus and Cancer is like talking about I love him. I want this is what I want, and then Pluto and Capricorn is putting a knife to the nigga and being like, do you really want this nigga? I'm about to kill this motherfucker. What are you willing to do? How much do you care? Like I'm about to kill this nigga right now, and when it's saying, are you willing to give up this comfort? Are you willing to give up this comfort? Are you willing to make this compromise? Are you willing to manage this thing? Are you willing to maybe be a little bit more dry and incorporate more management type thing and not be as emotional with it, so you can maintain a better system? And if Venus can't act like that, she's probably not even gonna it's probably not even gonna care. I feel like the opposition may take things that maybe you thought you were emotionally invested into, but the way that it just took it out your motherfucking life,
Yeah.
you realize that, oh shit, I was wasting my time. I didn't really. That was a fleeting. That was a moody type aspect. That was emotion that came and go. It wasn't something that can sustain me or make me comfortable in the long term. That I can call a home. That I feel nurtured and supported by. That was just more of a fleeting type thing. Pluto and Capricorn may come and take that stuff away. And you may not be as open to that vulnerability. It may come out through embarrassment or disappointment. Something that you cared about, you thought you cared about, maybe not working out. But know that on Monday that Pluto is in Capricorn. So if you were giving emotion to something and it got taken away, it probably wasn't giving you the right nurture, the right home type environment, the right support. Um, for you in order to build a structure around it, and, for you to bring this out into the public outside of just the home, personal, domestic issues, and you guys still coincide. It's like I love him and all of that, but you don't want to bring him out to your friends and stuff like that. It's like that type of energy is not gonna work out, and Pluto's gonna show you that.
Exactly, in an aggressive way too, because we're dealing with cardinal signs,
Exactly. Yeah, so Cardinal is gonna be powerful. It's gonna come quick too. It's like, oh shit, what, what
It's
is that?
Venus too, so you get a feeling. Like, just think about how often people are lost within their own Venus chakra and like their desires, and then their Mars, and then imagine having Pluto right there on your opposing your Venus. So it's like you're gonna feel it.
hmm That's for sure. Neptune and Pisces. Um, Neptune and Pisces trining Venus and making a sextile with Pluto and
Man, so
Capricorn.
that's nice. As Venus is getting judged by Pluto and Capricorn, making sure its desires being purified, something being presentable to go on the stage and present something that's going to be for long term. Capricorn, structure, business, status. We're getting the
Yeah.
necessary energy from our love matter being in the right place to create opportunity with dreams, illusions, imagination. What do we want to have faith in? Like, majority of us want to have faith in business structure, a new world we could go into, or we could have faith structure and escape into like a fake reality that deals with what we found to be too comfortable in Venus in Cancer. Then we didn't deal with it Pluto in Capricorn. So right now we're being stuck with in this situation to run away, and now utilize that Pluto sextile too, because Pluto sextile is providing you the energy to really be serious about Venus in Cancer, and then Neptune in being in Pisces. Especially Neptune is retrograde, so you're not too sure. But Pluto in Capricorn is giving you that direct energy. This is why Capricorn is good, being cardinal. Sometimes it's good just to initiate and go forward with the plan and learn as you go.
Yeah. That's one thing. I think Dolo said it, or was it Peace did it? But he was like, that's one thing that Capricorn does different. Where Virgo may worry too much and never start the shit. You know, Taurus may be like, I don't know if that's gonna provide sustain me. Capricorn's the only one to be like, you know what, nigga, let's try this shit. Like I don't know. It's like I have ambition. I'm willing to try this out to go and see how this plays
This
out.
is why God trusted Capricorns to initiate winters. That's it.
hmm hmm That's facts. That's facts. They'll know they'll approach it with the fresh perspective and be conservative with whatever resources that they had. And yeah, I bet it can have, even if Pluto takes away something from the Venus, something that you cared about or something that you valued. Neptune and Pisces may provide the imagination for you to creatively imagine your future, creatively imagine the potential of what things can actually be. So you're not limited to just your right now emotions. You're kind of more connected
Yeah.
to your subconscious emotions.
Exactly.
And then the moon in Capricorn is making a trine with Mercury in Virgo. How do you think that's going
Man,
to play
so
out?
right now, this is essentially, we're gonna be emotionally reacting in a very strict, constricted way, dealing with our business stats, because we want to see that upgraded. We want to work towards that. We want to put our emotion aside and put our current of feelings aside, just to create like real currency, real money through constriction, being stiff. And that trine with Mercury and Virgo, that's allowing us to being emotionally bossy, while our mind is being analytical, analyze all the facts that have been presented so far as it went through Cancer, home, family, domestic issues, then Leo, fun, entertainment, and self-expression. And right now it's in Virgo, analyzing the facts, details. We want to see the receipts, and then Moon in Capricorn is allowing you to really see yourself, especially your ego, your sun being a Leo right now, being lost in its own light from a very logical, serious perspective. Okay, I need to work on this. I'm gonna do that. I need to put this aside, and things of that nature. Since the sun, the moon, and Capricorn is gonna eventually in conjunct the sun and Leo, so that's very important. There's gonna be a blind spot. Depending on where you've been paying attention to, so it's gonna be very important for you to manage these things. This is why having this trine with Mercury and Virgo is gonna allow you to manage these things practically as you're expressing them on the stage, because your mind is acting as a manager while your solar plexus is going on the stage presenting these things, while your emotion being the is basically the one who runs the business, watching the entire show at the background.
And I bet this is gonna help you even handle the Venus opposition energy, where you might lose an asset, or you may actually feel the pressure of Pluto, the moon being there, even with the connection with the Cancer energy. It's probably gonna help you be way more conservative about it, or it's gonna help you show you your vulnerabilities. Moon in Capricorn, I feel, can be, like they want to be stable, so much that they're emotionally attached to being stable, but which makes them. But to be stable, they kind of have to be dry, but they're emotionally attached to it. So it kind of leads to a little bit of sensitivity to that type of thing. But with the trine to Mercury and Virgo, I bet you're going to be way more exposing of what it is that you need to manage. And Mercury and Virgo is going to give you the receipts. It's going to help you organize and make sense out of it. It's like, oh, and if you're honest with that energy, Capricorn represents integrity. These are your responsibilities. If you emotionally responding to your responsibilities in a proper way, you're not trying to, dive into escapism or using other different types of justifications to make it seem lighter. You're honest about your emotions towards your responsibilities and how you present yourself to the world. Mercury and Virgo is gonna give you receipts, and then you'll see how to better organize yourself. You'll see it'll make sense. It'll be like, oh shit, I see where I went wrong. I, I, I can maybe I can figure this shit out.
Hmm.
Very reflective day on Monday.
Yeah, reflective,
Interesting.
serious. Yeah.
And yeah, 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 for sure. And that's Monday. Tuesday, August 9th, Mars and Uranus and the North Node. Mars, Uranus, and the North Node in Taurus is making a trine to the Moon in Capricorn. How do you think that's gonna? Sounds like a business day, bro.
Bro,
That sounds like
this
a
is
making money
perfect
day.
for Tuesday since Tuesday is Mars Day. This is the day you go work, have passion, and really initiate something
Initiate
out of
some
like
money.
Monday after you reflected, meditated, relaxed a little bit. So Tuesday is the day you're gonna work, man. Having all this opportunity through this trine based upon your emotional status being based upon where you want to see yourself as a businessman, as a where do you want to build your status, how far you want to see it based upon what you express so far when it comes to the sun being a Leo, what you entertain. Right now, your moon, your emotions being a very stiff and very serious. Is you're ready to handle and take all the energy from Mars, Uranus, and the North Node to really push forward, because this is kind of funny since the moon in Capricorn at the beginning of winter, all this energy coming from Uranus, Mars is going to really help you push through Aquarius, Pisces, especially if you feel you're being stagnated, the planets are being retrograde, and yeah, basically.
Yeah, it's gonna. This is putting us in touch with our self worth, and like maybe even giving us a shock of the reality of our stability. So when somebody is talking a good game with that Aquarius energy, they're like, if you just join our team, you're gonna be, you kind of have more of an understanding, and then you go and look at their resources, you go and look at their values, and stuff like that. Because of all of this tension that's been going on in Taurus, like, like we know most niggas ain't shit right now. You know what? Uranus is like, it's hard for niggas to be shit. So when niggas will tell you, oh, this is the most logical thing to us to assemble in this way and stuff like that, I can see how you would be more speculative, or you would be more okay. Show me the Carfax type shit. Show me the facts. Make me believe. Make me trust that you have the resources for me to even join your association and stuff like that. Um, so for sure, I see as really reconnecting us with value at its base component, reconnecting us with trust. How can you trust? Look at how things are changing on a large level. The monetary system seems like it's on a ticking bomb where we need to transition into something else. We're on like the precipice of a collapse, and but the essence of that, to come up with something else for any, you have to understand value, and you have to understand trust. That was the basis of money. Money, American money, was trust. That's it. It was fake. It wasn't backed by anything. This is literal. This is facts. It wasn't backed by any physical resource. It was backed by the trust and accountability that you can have in the U.S. that they have your bum tax paying ass to go and work and provide a certain amount of money and shit like that. They can insure your ass to go and work and do all of that type of stuff. So that's where the value of the money comes from. So it's trust, and then you trust the government, and God we trust, and all of that type of shit. So, but through all of that understanding and being in that energy, Moon in Capricorn is probably really gonna, and then the Mercury and Virgo before helped you collect all the receipts to make sense out of it. Maybe Mars, this Mars, Uranus, and North Node and Taurus, the trine with the Moon in Capricorn can really help you put things into practice, or hone down, because Mars is even there, so you're starting to activate your talents, and maybe the Mars now is seeing more uses for your passions. You can put your passions into more things. You can include your uniqueness into more things, and you feel that God's kind of whispering, telling you, you know, go to this path, or that there's a real message, a God given message about value that is to be learned right now. That this type of situation can really enlighten you to.
Mm. Yeah, on the negative side, you don't be so emotionally dry and stiffened because what's happening on the outside world, because money is not coming in,
Dry.
you lack stability, now you hate yourself because your status is not correct, but you gotta realize your status in business is not everything, and then I just gotta realize these type of things, especially with the old past retrograde. Yeah, the whole point of moon.
And with Capricorn and Taurus, you might.
Continue.
Yeah. I was gonna talk about how you may be conservative with your resources, how you may be, a little bit too stingy on that day, because of the things that you value and you're passionate about it. And, now you have to manage these amongst a larger amount of people. It may force you to be dry, and not be as connective. With that energy, maybe a little bit more stingy.
Well, you're gonna need that regardless, because this world you're gonna go into is gonna be heartless, yo. Economically, spiritually, psychologically, man.
Facts. That's facts. And that's Tuesday, the 9th. Looking at Wednesday, the 10th, the moon in Capricorn is making a conjunction with Pluto and Capricorn. How do you think this conjunction is
So
going to play
this
out?
adding the serious intensity of the type of integrity and responsibility you need to uphold, and making sure that your skeleton system, your bones, is strong enough to really go work this the status and business that you want, as you're realizing that you may not have enough resources, or you may not have everything that you're required, but you just need that sense of stability within yourself, because the moon's getting debilitated here, so you could benefit off of that really. And the whole and the conjunction with Pluto is making you take power and control of like what making you emotionally scared when it comes to upholding your business and status, and like purifying that. Moon conjunction with Pluto, man, that's a big, like every time it happens, that's a powerful emotional change to take responsibility to really get your shit together. And then Venus conjunction here right there and things of that nature, so like that's like big responsibility, especially before the full moon in Aquarius. That's gonna be very important because it's gonna solidify the plan, the structure that you want. You don't have to necessarily have everything together. You just need to have some sort of idea. So when the moon goes into Aquarius conjunct Saturn, you're gonna have something to present to Aquarius grandpa. So the sun, your solar plexus, is not shunned down by Saturn. Your light is not reflected properly. So like you wanna do this properly.
It's gonna show you what type of structure that you should be initiating by showing you how you're emotionally responding to all of the other responsibilities and structures that you're giving power to, like with Pluto. It's gonna really put that pressure on. It's like, how do you feel about all of these things, and if it's manifesting as worrying or feeling lack of control and all of these aspects, then you have been giving emotionally valuing the wrong responsibilities, the wrong structures, the wrong management of things, and Pluto will really put that on fire, will make you transform, or at least expose that and put that pressure on you, put it in your face that you have these things, and the moon is debilitated, so it's kind of like it's making you drier. Maybe you'll take it a little bit more tougher, if you're putting the right seeds in, or it may make you be like, wanting to be, maybe not pay attention to that in its fullest, like how you should. Yeah, for sure. And then the moon in Capricorn is gonna oppose Venus in Cancer, so how do you think that's gonna hit? While it's conjuncting Pluto.
Man, this is more.
So now the moon's
Man,
in
this
that
is
mix.
more intensity, and like you might getting scared that, oh, my sense of comfort is getting taken away from me, as you're getting addicted, being a Luciferian, to your home and your domestic issue that you want to get away from. So now Pluto in Capricorn is gonna make you get out of your home. It doesn't care about how you feel. Your hormones, which you get addicted to connect yourself to your physical body. So Pluto in Capricorn is gonna make you go to the deep bone marrow of your core, so you know there's no stability, and you need to take integrity from the deepest aspect of your core, not Venus in Cancer.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's facts. That's that's how that is. Yeah,
Because
for
like
sure.
your body is gonna
Sure.
play out the representation of the structure, and like, what you want to learn to follow is real biology impulse, not uh that cardinal nature of Cancer. That feeling is gonna come and go by. You want that sustainability of long term of Capricorn, that sense. Mm.
Mhm. Mhm. For sure, for sure. And then like we really initiate certain things by putting emotion. You think that that those emotional outbursts don't do anything like biologically, but you're setting off a cascade of a whole bunch of functions by giving emotions to certain things and emotionally reacting by them. So it's like that conservative aspect, maybe you end up being too dry if you go too far in it, but like you give too much emotion, like you'll really start damaging yourself like that. Literally start a whole cascade of things that start working adverse to you. And look at how Cancer, what your moon, the moon, and the moon, what your lymph nodes and stuff like that, your immune system, and look at how you can have an overactive immune system where it starts working against you. So it's like you don't want to. And then look at it in the mother example. A mother can love you, want to nurture you, but then she can overprotect you, and make it be too defensive. That type of
Exactly.
energy. So you need that conservative. All right, fuck it. I have to be disciplined. I have to take care of my responsibilities. I have to sacrifice comfortability to a certain degree in order to manage all of my
Exactly.
assets. And then the Sun in Leo is making a square to the North Node and Uranus in Taurus. How
So
you think that's
right now
gonna
you're
play
gonna
out?
present whatever you self focusing on, expressing, having fun, entertain to the North Node. The North Node that wants to check in for your spiritual path, whatever you're expressing, whatever you're entertaining, whatever you're putting a light on for this period of time, as you're experiencing all those fixated signs crucifying you, making you feel like your self-expression is not worth anything. So this is teaching you to really I mean, I have everything, but this is all I got, and you just want to give it to the North and North and leave it up to God, because that's all that matters at this point. But at this point, negatively, you may feel like you had nothing to present to the North Node, so you're gonna feel really scared, because what's there around the North Node? Uranus, Mars, and things of that nature, and now your heart, blood pressure, circulatory system feels unstable. Why? Because you have nothing to present for what? This new form of hormonal system, North Node being in the Taurus, to stabilize you. Now your body's all over the place. And that square is creating so much tension. That square
Yeah,
is creating too
exactly.
much tension between your hormones and your blood. You don't know how to function anymore.
Exactly. For sure. That's why like this Taurus energy is under fire because it's really important for us to understand the essence of these things. And this is even self-worth. And if you could look at Leo as giving attention, which is also giving love, this is the basis, of sharing yourself with people. But you have to feel like you have something worth going to show. So it's going to be that friction where you're setting the stage and you're expressing yourself, and then especially with it being the North Node in your Uranus, it's creating that. It's like you don't even fucking know if this has value, or if this is being taken or being seen as value. But this is why it's important for you to have know your own self worth, um, or to allow these experience to help you understand and build self worth. What what tools do I need to increase my confidence or to increase my value and to increase my stability so the next time I'm going up the stage, I have something to go and offer, you know, the North
Exactly.
Node. Yeah. And that's how Wednesday's looking. Looking at Thursday, the moon in Aquarius is conjuncting Saturn while opposing the sun in Leo. I think
So that's
that
the
hits.
full moon. So we're reaching this is the totality of the cycle that we've been spending energy and expressing a self-expression, learning how the world sees our heart chakra, not our heart chakra, our solar plexus, the way our individuality, our imagination, is it gonna work for society? Is it unique or original? Uranus and Taurus. Does it fit our dreams, illusion, imagination, and faith? Neptune and Pisces. Does it gonna help allow us to be responsible, take part of structure and society? Saturn in Aquarius. So right now, full moon and Aquarius is making you see the totality of these things. Where do you fit in the larger scheme of things? Where does your light fit in the overall structure of Saturn? But your light, personal light, has to be contained within Saturn ability to block light, so everybody could have their own like light presented in their own way, so nobody could like blind each other or like end up fighting each other. So I feel like Saturn Aquarius is gonna teach boundaries between all these lights, which is kind of funny since Saturn's and Aquarius deal with association. I learned how to associate ourselves with different people and making sure that we don't overstep each other and things of that nature. You may even come to a lot of experience that deal with like society pushing back what you're trying to express on your heart and things of that but which is going to be good because that teaching you how to be strong as you say what's on your heart. So next as we leave Leo season, you feel so much so much stronger and so much better and with these things.
Yeah, yeah. More in touch with who you are and more aware of who's opposing that, where it's not like, things are hidden or you don't know. You were confronted with these oppositions, you know what is preventing you from fully stepping into that creative, self-expressive, childlike energy. Like you're fully aware. And it's funny because this is the sun in Leo, with Saturn in its home, and then the moon's even coming in too. So Saturn may, because the moon in Aquarius, the tarot card for that is the Seven of Swords, I think, and it's the nigga stealing the swords and shit like that. So may come in like a thief at night, in terms of it may sneak up on you. That opposition, it may sneak up on you. Maybe you didn't know that creative expression was going to be opposed or restricted like that. You didn't know that your associations were going to make you uphold all of these responsibilities that restrict you from actually being yourself and stuff like that. But with the opposition, now, it's like they fully come out with that opposition and that onslaught.
Exactly. So it's gonna be important to know like which houses that it is gonna play out in your area of life. For example, I have Saturn in my third house, so I'm gonna see all these things that deal with the responsibility, upholding things, deal with my siblings, co-workers, people with my immediate surroundings, early education, curiosity, as I'm expressing all these things within my ninth house, higher education, wisdom, knowledge. So I'm gonna learn how to bring these things into balance, or I'm gonna be too flunked out and express too much knowledge and education in within my 3D surrounding. I may not make any sense, while I need to learn what to associate and keep my inner light within control.
Facts. Facts. I resonate with that. I have my Aquarius in fucking my seventh house, and I see that it's opposing my first house. So it's like it feels like the world or society is looking at like my personality like it ain't shit. So now I'm like, I realize my relationships, having relationships with like-minded people who we can associate on certain mentalities, is really important because the world at large, is gonna look at me, opposing my energy. It's like, no, no, you can't do that. No, you're too selfish. No, you're too. Oh, no, no, you can't act too childlike. You have to refine it. It has to be more structure and all of that. You can't be having fun. You have to be all dry and all of that shit. Why you laughing? Shit like that. But it being in the seventh house, it's like showing you the importance of you having friends and relationships with people that you can relate to on that level. And you may not even notice the world opposes like that with you because you're building with these people. You're building with with those assets. So you may not even realize the world at large is opposing your personality like that.
Yeah, exactly.
But yeah, that full moon is gonna be intense with Saturn there. It's gonna be really intense, and we're gonna be really aware of what's being constricted in our life, and it's gonna make you, and it's gonna be so emotional too. Not emotional because we're still talking about Aquarius, where it's gonna be where it's logical, but you're trying to be logical about and attach your emotions to it. So it's like this is what's most practical, and you're trying to attach your emotions to things. But depending on how you deal with that sun moon balance, will determine that assimilation of it or how much friction is when you try to emotionally, just like what I was talking about with my seventh house thing. When you try and give emotion to your associates and your social life at large, do you get diminished with your individuality? Does it help Saturn constrict and restrict your individual expression, or does it provide support in a way? Does how you are emotionally responding to your associates, giving you clues or making you aware of how you can incorporate more of your individuality, of what areas you can express more individuality. Do they value you as an individual in that? Can you think how you want to think? Can you express yourself freely? Maybe you're associating and fixating your mind on things that are too restrictive, or not taking into account your personal way of seeing things and trying to be too logical.
But also, I find this full moon is gonna help you figure out to take what you've been entertaining, having fun with. If you did not know how to put it in a logical way, this opposition is going to teach you how to integrate it into society in a very logical way, where you could add multiple people into this idea you want to express. Because we know entertainers, they're not one person running their name, aka their brand. They're a group, they're a business. Drake is not one person. Drake is a brand. His entire, when he moves, he moves with everybody.
Exactly, and he does that when he puts on a show. There's a whole bunch of associations behind the scenes that are
Exactly.
supporting it. And maybe that would put pressure on him. Maybe he might not release a certain song or feel pressure to make a hit or something like that. Because he has all of these associates. But it's a balanced aspect when you can go on the stage, sing the song that you want and all of that, and then your associates still take care of the Saturn structure and all of that, and it still ends up being logical and everybody benefits off of it. Then you got the right blend.
Exactly.
And then the moon in Aquarius is going to square the North Node, Uranus, and Mars in Taurus during the full moon.
Hefty, man. This is
Yeah.
more pressure as you're expressing who you are, and you're getting taught by Saturn. You gotta learn how to constrict your way and put things in a much more logical way, and not be so lost in your own illusion as you're realizing how much work you need to put in the square, or when it comes to your North Node and Mars being in Taurus, really making you realize I have to put more work on my values and tradition in my hormonal system to really, I have to have something to present, something to be courageous about, because a lot of us may express things that has no values, no tradition, nothing. That's a Leo being flashy with no heart, no circulatory system. So that's gonna be very important. It's gonna make you realize whether you've been putting the work or not, whether you have a flat chest or you know how to stick your chest out. And being proud.
Yeah, for sure. With all of that fixed energy, it's gonna be like, are you being stubborn, or are you being consistent? And you have to really recognize what side of the spectrum that you are. If you're starting to manifest a whole bunch of stubborn type energy, whether it be yourself or on the outside, then you're not starting to know that you're manifesting the negative side of all of this fixed energy. But if you're being inspired or being pushed into consistency, then now you know you planted the right seeds.
Exactly. Exactly.
And then that's Thursday. Looking at Friday, the 12th of August, Venus enters Leo. How do
So
you
this
think
is
that's
the
going to
time for our love matters. To see our love matter, what we appreciate, what we indulge in, what we find beautiful, the illusions where we get lost in. Venus is one of those planets that you get lost in from day to day, even minute to minute. A lot of people do not realize it because they don't make the associations between small things that relate to Venus, the macro thing. So Venus moving into Leo, these are a lot of things is gonna be presented on the surface based upon where we're putting all this love, attention to. If we've been putting it on wrong things, we're gonna really see how our love matter on the stage do not matter. People are gonna make fun of us. People are gonna see how useless what we love is, and things of that nature. Or on the negative extreme side, you might get lost in your own love matter as you express yourself on your stage. You might get addicted to what you're seeing on the stage, like seeing Lucifer on the stage, and that you're thinking who you are. But remember, the Saturn being in Aquarius and Pluto being in Capricorn, that's in conjunction. We got opposition right there, so you're gonna be really judged. Venus and Leo gotta be highly sensitive to whatever it do, but if it's directed correctly, you could create this beautiful illusion on the stage that could work well with society on large and all business and society. Just look at music bands, people like Michael Jackson, all famous celebrities. People know how to create a beautiful illusion, but also market it well with other associates.
Yeah, and if you don't get lost or start manifesting more of the indulging type energy, it can really help you balance things, like helping you learn how to bring joy into relationships, how to bring joy into certain situations as an equifying type of effect. As long as you don't get over exalted into the energy, it can help you learn how to start making more connections based off of fun things. It's interesting. Venus in Cancer kind of seems like the beginning stages, or like you like someone, you're catching feelings, but you guys start to kind of get to know each other, kind of get familiar with each other, and then Venus and Leo is like, the relationship's full. Like you guys are out. It's not you try to get to know each other like you guys are in a relationship and you're going through all of it. And then Venus and Virgo, now you're gonna calculate, whether that made sense or not. You're gonna see all the receipts, whether this is practical, whether this relationship's actually work out to something. Is this something that I can even present to Libra? I can bring above the horizon and start, can I present this nigga, to my friend group, and can we be a partnership on a larger level? But that's later on. But right now, you're going through that experience of really figuring that out, of giving that love, and learning how to balance giving love and attention. Oh, like that flunked outness, dude. Like how you were saying, be aware of where you're giving that energy, for sure, because this is attention. How you balance, how you give an attention, how you balance your entertainments. And so even if you find yourself slipping from an equilibrium, know that the lesson that is being shown is you need to peep what threw you off of your equilibrium in terms of what you're giving your attention to, and if you're evaluating certain entertainments and certain good times a little bit too much.
If you think Venus in Cancer was bad for you to get addicted to your own comfort zone and things of that nature, Venus in Leo could be way worse because we're dealing with a fixed sign. So you could be very addicted to entertaining your own self, which gonna lead to do nothing, man. I haven't been at Venus in Cancer, but I could bet you could just entertaining something in a way that ends up leading to nowhere. Like imagine just using Venus energy, Lucifer with the sun, which we know its negative side. You could literally put yourself in a light and never come out of.
Yeah, for sure. Keep giving to something that'll never give back. But yeah, and then Mercury in Virgo is gonna make a sextile with Lilith in Cancer. How do you think that's
Lilith
gonna
in
play out?
Cancer. So, as your mind is being much more articulate, collecting receipts based upon what is seen in Leo, learn how to think logically about self-expression, what's entertaining. It's learning how to deal with Lilith in Cancer. This embarrassing moment when it comes to our comfortability, not knowing how to deal with this feeling of discomfort, this darkness that makes us feel like we want to retreat. But Mercury being in Virgo, that's a highly analytical, highly perspective. It's gonna allow us to digest what's going on with our lymphatic immune system. This little virus called Lilith going on through our immune system right now.
And really make you make sense out of it, you know, and understand like why am I so emotionally afflicted to these things? Why do I care about this? You know, you're gonna really get start to understand it and put two and two together of what had made that come
And that's
about.
gonna help you to detoxify. This is why after after Virgo get Libra and then Scorpio, where you what take a shit, take a piss, aka purify yourself. But that depends on how good what.
Get
But
rid of the
that depends on
toxins.
how good what you digested. You broke things down. So if you can't break things down practically, then how are you gonna go release to waste? This is why that still makes it like Scorpios Virgos relationship quite good, because Scorpios can look at Virgos as someone who can help them digest all this intoxication they feel, and but vice versa. As Scorpios gonna help Virgos have to be much more fluid with the way they digest things and things of that nature.
Yeah, yeah, for sure, for sure. And then that's Friday. Saturday, the 13th, the Sun and Leo finally um, makes that opposition to the Sun. Wait a minute. Oh, the Sun and Leo finally makes exact opposition to Saturn and Aquarius.
So that this is the time.
How
And
do you
this on
think that
Saturday.
plays
This
out?
is Sabbath day. So like, this is gonna be a very serious storm where you gonna see whatever you're gonna do on that day can be reflected on these energies. So what I mean by that, are you gonna be able to express what you want to express as society is projecting all those responsibility pushing you back, you realizing the constriction, and when they describe Saturn as being a malefic planet, you actually realizing how malefic it is and how stiff it is as you expressing you yourself. And not only that, you realize how sensitive it is, because sensitive uphold all structures. So whatever everybody's expressing is gonna have to like try to block these in some form of way.
hmm and let you know, like even with that Leo energy, like a lot of people may be getting lost in an ego, or can get lost in wanting to see themselves in a specific way. This will help you come to terms with, you know, like you can't do everything by yourself. You know, teamwork makes the dream work right now. With Saturn and Aquarius. So if your ego and your individual way of seeing yourself because of what you want to pay attention to, if that's what's getting in the way of you associating with people, and you're finding, you know, resistance in in that area, you know, this type of oppositions can really key you in and be like, oh, because I need to see myself as this, oh, because I keep on paying attention to this is why I'm not manifesting any stability or practical, why Saturn's opposing me, or hating me. Maybe you're trying to see yourself and sustain, or focus and give attention and entertain something that is not, that needs to be refined, or that needs to be assessed. Because if you can't bring this on an associative level, you know, maybe maybe real, not only that the individual is being restricted, but maybe you are being a little bit too individualistic and not joining the collective. That's also a dynamic, and I feel like even people, even though, you know, the government is opposing that type of pressure, I don't think people, it's a, it's like crumbling. Some people were able to sustain certain egos before, and now they can't, you know, because of all of those oppositions, in terms of, you know, maybe certain people like how individual you wanted to be. You're like, oh, talking all this individuality and all of that type of stuff, but you know, you were forced into a position where you had to take the most logical route, where you couldn't be as individual. But then that goes to show how honest you were being with yourself, and you know how you're balancing your ego and being honest in terms of how you want to see yourself and what's most logical right now in order to progress forward, because you'll end up in the same position with that type of energy. You'll end up having to be so forceful, and so demanding. No, you have to look at me like this, adjust me as this, you know, and stuff like that. Oh, this is what I need to be free and all of that, and not get with the program in terms of trying to work with Saturn instead of let Saturn oppose you, you know?
And know ahead of time you're gonna take whatever it is you're building right now and Leo and go present it when the sun goes into Sun in Libra, where you're gonna take it to associate, and that's gonna try and Saturn in Aquarius. So it's very important to pass this stage, because this is gonna be like the hall of justice. If you can't pass it, you can't go above the horizon. So like our ego right now is really being tested. It's like being solidified for the sake of the everything.
Yeah, yeah, for sure. For you to move forward, you know, like these corrections have to be made for, and your ego and how you see yourself, for you to move forward. So it's inevitable. Moon in Pisces is making an opposition to Mercury in Virgo. How do you think
Man,
this is
so
playing out?
right now, after we realize what type of status, business that we need to take responsibility, integrity, and to really have a place to live in winter, then go associate it, have people to communicate about what we really been expressing the entire Leo season, to see is it really worth it? Is it just fun entertainment? Does it fit somewhere in society? Because I feel this is what a lot of celebrities learn later on in their life, is my self expression, what I'm entertaining. How does it fit in the totality of things? Me as a rapper, what I'm saying right now, what I'm having fun with, how does it fit in with the totality of business, status, how I'm seen by the world, the love I receive? This is why Leo in conjunct Capricorn, the 10th house, and then also oppose the 11th house of Aquarius. That's a very important relationship, and then we're gonna realize that as the moon goes right now into Pisces, putting us into the dream world, allowing us to sit back in our subconscious mind, deliver dreams, illusion, have more faith, become more dreamy, or become more delusional about like whatever been we expressing so far, especially with the receipts that Saturn's gonna give us after that opposition. It's gonna be what we're gonna take into this dream world, and if we have nothing, we're gonna go to La La Land with nothing, which is kind of funny.
Yeah, for sure. It's kind of like like I feel like with opposition, you can't really even lie to yourself that you're in La La Land. You know, it's like you're gonna have to really be in La La Land, or you're gonna have to really be attached to all these subconscious influences and escapism for you to you know, shut off that analytical mind, which is just going exposing and pinpointing what it is that is enabling this escapism, or the subconscious factor that you keep on using, the influence, the emotional influence that keeps on pulling you out of making sense, or organizing things in a logical manner, and making you get it. What's making you go to La La Land, basically. And the moon in Pisces conjunct Neptune.
There's just more access, more,
I guess adding more
that's it.
confusion.
Either more confusion, illusions to escape reality, or more faith, mysticism. I believe my dreams are reality, to go actually do something, aka become Kanye West. But like, he's successful, but he's also so flunked out. So it's a very thin line. There's a thin line.
Exactly. Where it's hella beneficial when he makes it make sense, but it once it goes out of a certain domain, or out of a certain environment, you know, like you could be crazy in front of a keyboard, you could be emotional writing a song, you know, signing a contract, I don't know, you know, be that emotional, I don't know if it's gonna really work out. But I believe this. Be like, nigga, just sign over there, stuff like that. Yeah, for sure. And then Mars in Taurus is gonna try Pluto in Capricorn. How do you think that's gonna
Man.
play out? Mars trining
So depending
Pluto.
on where you've been putting all this passion, desire, aggression, while Mars is being debilitated in Taurus, losing energy and capable of moving, especially with that conjunction to Uranus, realizing all those electrifying technological things that's getting making it push back against society. That it has to really go find something that's traditional, something that's valid to hold on to and be passionate about, so it could create opportunity with this trine to Pluto in Capricorn, because Pluto in Capricorn is giving us all this courage, all this integrity to stand on our own knees, our own bones and skeleton, to build our own world. And Mars in Taurus, really presenting that energy. I like Earth signs, especially. I like connecting together because that gives you more energy to go towards building physical structure and things of that in nature. So that's gonna be really nice, especially coming up that Uranus conjunction. That trine's gonna really make you uplifted and really feel a little bit strong, especially after that full moon.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, maybe a little bit more confident in your resources, more confident in your talent, more confident that your passions may actually be able to lead to you having more power and control in how you position yourself in life. For sure. And that's how Saturday's looking. Sunday, the moon in Aquarius on the 14th, the moon in Aries, my bad, is going to conjunct Jupiter in Aries. How do you think that's going to hit?
So this is coming from the dream world, based upon whatever dream and illusions, imagination that we've been putting all our emotions, reaction, depending on what we associate it with, depending on what we decide to plan and take integrity in while the moon was in Capricorn. So the moon in Aries is gonna make us put our emotion aside, or like be a little bit selfish and be a little bit aggressive, passionate, and be more warlike to fight for these things that we want, especially coming. I think the sun's gonna be leaving Leo as the moon hits Aries, so that's gonna give you that more energy to really get these things going on and fight for them. But with the conjunction to Jupiter, Jupiter is retrograding too. It might put you in a position where you're looking over certain things or new, ways of initiating, seeing reality and like study them, re-edit them. Because Moon conjuncting Jupiter, that's reflecting on your reality, your past experiences.
Mm-hmm. And yeah, and maybe your moon in Aries may cause you to emotionally react a little bit too immediately and not let Jupiter get as broad as it could be in terms of how it sees itself, just because the right reactionary aspect of the moon, especially the moon being in Aries, it's more, yeah, you're more selfish or individualistic, so which could also lead to you doing what you need to do, you being able to fight for the things that you emotionally um, feel attached to, to getting more of that self-protective type energy even too, which may because with Jupiter and Aries, we're trying to expand your faith in yourself. So, while it can also add to the intensity and make you add emotions to the journey that you are embarking on, make you add an emotional attachment based off of how you feel about yourself and how you want to see yourself. Maybe add more feelings and emotions to that journey of putting faith into yourself, giving yourself more emotional reasons to go and expand on that journey and to create these things. So it can play out both ways. You'll see on how it manifests in terms of your reactions. If you start getting a little bit more frustrated, if the goal starts seeing a little bit too far and you're frustrated, now you're incorporating your emotions, and now your emotions are working against this energy. It needs to help you feel, all right, I'm willing to go on this journey because I actually care about this passion. I actually care about this desire.
Exactly, exactly.
And then the moon in Aries is making a trine with Venus and Leo. I
Man,
think
that's
that's
on
gonna
Sunday.
play
We're getting all those fire alignment. Man, you're gonna be on fire on this day, bro. You're gonna be seriously. This looks like a day you're gonna be
out.
happy, excited, and ready to burn through reality. You feel like nothing is against you.
Catch the Holy Spirit.
Basically, yo.
You caught the Holy
So
Spirit.
while you're emotionally react to all these selfish desires, which is kind of good, but as long as you check on them, not being too selfish, not allowing yourself to separate too much, this is gonna allow you to be aggressive about these things you want to present on the stage and the stuff you love and you desire. But on the negative side, you could be very aggressive about things you want to fight on, continuously fixate on entertaining, which could be bad for you. And the moon in Aries may make you realize, based upon these experiences that have been expanded in, because Jupiter traveled, I think, up to like 8 degrees right now, and things of that nature. Now you want to like emotionally react to them and see how you could tweak them essentially, or like see how you could do them better.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. For sure. And don't allow yourself to kind of diminish that the energy that the moon has been going through after the full moon, coming off of all of that collective energy with all of the pressure. Pluto in Capricorn, Saturn in Aquarius, Neptune in Pisces, it's like you were exposed to all of these influences, and how now, especially on Sunday, on the day of individuality, now it's time for you. Now it's time to figure out how you feel, and how you're gonna take all of that energy, and what you're gonna start, how you're gonna approach things differently. You know what I mean?
Use the
and this coincides with what you
use
entertain.
these things as motivators, so you can use the moon in Aries and like trail your way through it and things of that nature. Just watch out, because Carrion is going to
Exactly.
be there, and since Jupiter is retrograde, you might put yourself in a lot of opportunity to make mistakes too. So you gotta be careful too.
That's true. That's true. For sure. And yeah, that's how Sunday is looking. So that's the week. That's the weekly horoscope. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Check out our website, truspace.biz. Check out our Instagram, truspace_. And yeah, thank you for watching. Thank you for your
guys
time.
for watching.